Very interesting.
Hey, what about Major Kong?
Iconic fetishistic scene from the 1964 film Dr. Strangelove. It's never exactly clear what weapon Major Kong is riding all the way to his Russian target. But that was loaded onto a B-52, part of a force of bombers, according to the film, that were armed with 50 megatons of nuclear weapons and kept airborne 24 hours a day in case of attack. All of which means that Dr. Strangelove's fictional Major Kong bomb was probably based on the B-53, which was first made 2 years before Dr. Strangelove came out. The B-53 was so enormous, only a B-52 bomber was big enough to carry it. This bomb was the size of a minibus. It weighed 10,000 pounds, slated to deliver an explosion 600 times the power of the explosion in Hiroshima. It was designed as the first bunker buster. They equipped it with parachutes and a timer so it would land softly on the ground, then explode with enough power to collapse underground shelters up to 750 feet underground. And like Dr. Strangelove's bombs, B-53s were loaded on board bombers that remained airborne 24 hours a day in case of nuclear attack. More than 300 of these bombs, these B-53s, were made in the early 60s. Dozens of them were still in U.S. active stockpiles for decades, even though, according to the Washington Post, quote, they were considered so dangerous that only dummies were used when crews practiced loading and unloading them on B-52s. As early as 1993, the Department of Energy was recommending that these bombs be retired as soon as possible, saying that the bomb had, quote, no assured level of nuclear safety in a broad range of multiple abnormal environments. Eek. There's only one place the United States has that's built to disassemble and assemble nuclear weapons. It's the Pantex plant in Amarillo, Texas. Thousands of warheads are slated to be dismantled there. More than half the plant's work consists of updating our current nuclear arsenal. But Rachel, this is a moment of geek. This seems more like a moment of eek. What is so geeky about this? Here's what's so geeky about this. Here's your geek, you fellow geeks. The B-53 was so old and unsafe, it took Pantex 3 years just to figure out how to take it apart. 3 years. And even then, after taking 3 years to figure out how to take the thing apart, it wasn't until April of last year, a week after President Obama signed a landmark agreement with Russia to cut both of our country's nuclear arsenals by a third, that the National Nuclear Security Administration announced that it finally had the safety systems in place to speed up disassembling these things. And Today, their work was finally completed. We're talking about nuclear physics and mechanics so geeky, so dense, so dangerous that it took half a generation to arrive at today. For the first time in nearly 50 years, there is not a single active B-53 bomb in existence. The final active bomb was nicknamed the last of the big dogs. Today, Pantex workers physically separated its high explosives from the nuclear material inside the bomb, thus rendering it unusable as a nuclear weapon. The remaining components will be disassembled in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, which is nice. And we still have thousands of active nuclear weapons in our stockpile, including the B-53's replacement, the B-6111 nuclear bunker buster designed to penetrate the ground up to 20 feet with a nuclear yield of up to 300 kilotons. Yahoo! That does it for us tonight.